Good afternoon. My name is Aretha Milligan. I'm the Associate Director of Residence Life at the University of Memphis. And today we're just going to talk about placement exchange. We're going to talk about the placement exchange, TPE, OPE, and SPE, and any other placement exchange you've gone to. Because the whole premise of this presentation is about preparing yourself for when you go. Now, some of you may have been, raise your hand if you've been a candidate at a placement exchange, if you've gone already. Okay, raise your hand if you've been an employer at a placement exchange. Okay, so there'll be an opportunity. We're talking about some tips, some things you need to be aware of that I may not hit them all, but when you hear something, oh yeah, raise your hand, and you're more than welcome to chime in and share. This is information about sharing to prepare you for your own job search or help you prepare someone for their job search. Okay? Oops, let me get out of the way. That's just about me. So, where are you in your job search? You don't necessarily have to answer that out loud because in case somebody knows, I'm not job searching. This is not about that. If you are, or if you know someone who is job searching, where are they? Have they registered for a conference? Any of them? There are lots. Have they taken the time to go to a career services center and done mock interviews, preparing themselves by getting their resume together? Always a good tip, and it's coming down the pipe. Again, you'll hear it again today. Let somebody review your resume. So they're going to see something someone else may have missed. And it's okay if they're critical, because you want to be putting your best foot forward at all times, because you have one opportunity to make a first impression. And you want that impression to be, I want that person on my staff team, or I want to work for her, or I want to work for him. How are you preparing for the job search? Now here's me. A lot of times, I remember in grad school preparing for my job search, we need to go here, we need to go there, we need to go there. What nobody mentioned was tracking. Because when you're job searching, you're applying to different places. You may have your regions, but in some regions, there are several schools that you're willing to work for or with. So you need to track who you're applying for, so that when those letters come in, hey, we got your resume, cover letter, application, we want you to come to campus, or we like you right now, we're moving in another direction. No, you can check, scratch, yes, we want to do a phone interview, we want to do a Skype interview. You are organized and you're tracking all that. Because let me tell you what happens, and I say organized and tracking. I can't tell you how many times I got a a resume, a cover letter addressed to, and this is just an example, University of Chattanooga. Because people do that cut and paste thing, but they don't really take time to read it through. And it said Aretha Milligan, but it would say UT Chat. I said, that's not me. I'm not there. Or it didn't have my name, it just had all UT Chat stuff. But it came to me because they wanted to apply for our area coordinator position. It happens a lot. That's why you need to stay organized, don't get rushed, and prepare yourself and stay organized all the time. And be intentional about devoting time to make sure you get information in, you are scratching people off, you're shredding paper, so you don't have a bunch of mess there at the end. Woo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because you kind of know what you wanna do. You're just trying to get what's the best fit for you, okay? And people have already admitted they've been to a placement exchange. So here's just some places where they have different placement exchanges or different places you can go and get help for job search. That is, making connection with people in career services at your school, at other schools. I know at SACSA, it's not just one person at a school. It's a person from SACSA who's gathering information from other schools. So they even have the Western Kentucky had the half person, but they post there and say what not to wear and what to wear. So one half the person was in sandals and shorts and tank top, and the other person was suited up and looked professional. So here are things you need to think about. Are you groomed? Are you groomed? Right shoes. And here's me, what's the right shoe? You need to decide that if you can't walk in 4.5-inch heels, don't put them on. They're not required for an interview, okay? And it's not even required today, is that you have on a suit and a skirt, a suit and a skirt. You can wear pants, but you want your clothes to fit you. You want your outfit to complement you. If you want to rock or sport some of the colors of the school you're going to, by all means, find that out and do that. That's great because that shows, hey, it's got some little spirit in them. So do that. That is not a problem. But making sure you go prepared, and you know, when people are saying, what's a professional look, you know what that is. And if you don't know what it is, talk to your career services people, talk to the people that you are connected with, that you should be networking with about what a professional look is. It may not always be a full suit. It may just be a nice blouse, complimentary bottoms, and some comfortable pants and some accessories. Whatever it is, you have to determine what that is for you. But when you go, trust me, they're judging, and you're judging them. Because if you came to interview with them, they all had on polo shirts and some shorts, you said, did they think I was coming for the interview today? It might be casual Friday, but they need to expect me to be serious because I'm serious, okay? Other places, ATPA, I'm not sure if they're still doing, I know they're doing the placement exchanges they used to. I'm not sure if they're still doing the spot where you can go and get help with your resumes. I know they used to. But we always include them on there because they're a part of our family as well. I always include, that didn't get changed, but Oshkosh is in Wisconsin, and those are the dates for 2018. So next February. Placement exchange, this is our date for the dates for this year, because these are coming up for the placement exchange. Again, the placement exchange is nice size, so it's OPE, but what you have to understand that OPE, and I'll go back, they have a significant number of grad positions, students who are just out of undergrad looking for grad position. A lot going on at OPE, a lot of those positions. They also have a nice number of entry-level positions as well. Now, if you're looking for mid-level, you're not going to find as much there, okay? The Placement Exchange and San Antonio this year, you're going to find a lot there for mid-level. They have some entry, but they have very few graduate, if any. And again, I'm saying this because I've never gone to see graduate, I've never gone looking for graduate, I've never heard people say, oh, I'm going to TPE looking for a graduate position. I know that's normally OPE, okay? Now SPE, yay! This is the one, this date is supposed to be 2018 as well, so the 7 needs to come out. But this is in Memphis. It's one that I'm responsible for putting together and organizing. And we do a variety. Now, I'll be honest, the significant number of positions are housing. So if you want housing, that's a good place to start. And it's small. It's a small version of TPE. This year, and the stats are coming up, I want to say we had 19 or 20 universities, which is very, very low for us, and about 40 or 42 candidates. And I can't remember the position numbers, but sometimes people come, they need 5 and 6 graduate assistants, or they need 5 and 6 entry-level positions. So while they may have said, we just need 1 assistant, we are posting 1 position, they need 5 or 6 of them. That makes a difference in your count, but we don't worry about that much. When you come to SP, you're going to get a one-on-one interaction and connection. At the others, you may get that too, but it may be short. We're just saying, when you go to the placement exchanges, you need to be prepared. One thing I always tell people to do, read, read, and read. When you sign up, say, oh, I'm going to the placement exchange, take a moment, if you're a candidate, read what it tells you you need to do in order to set up your interviews. If you're an employer, the same thing. Are you reaching out to candidates? Do candidates reach out to you? Either way, if it means you need to start printing resumes, contacting people, and they have it all set up there through the exchange that you're going to, then that's what you need to do, but you need to keep that going. If you're the only person doing it, no problem. That means they're only contacting you, no problem. It becomes a bit wonky when I have a team and they're emailing different people and said, we're just using one email. Stop everybody emailing. You get involved in that as the person who are going as a candidate. You need to make sure you know who you're in contact with. If you start out talking to Aretha, then you start getting emails from Amanda. Hey, what happened to Aretha? Because somebody jumped in here and started communicating, and your wires may be crossed. So you show up for an interview at 9:30. I had you for 10:30. Oops. Again, things you need to be aware of when you're coming to conferences. Employers, same thing. We know how if it's a team, people start getting there playing, but then you know if you've been in it for a minute, you know one person needs to control the hours. I have Aretha down at this. I have Melanie down at this time. That person controls all that. So we need to make sure we are making this as little stress, decrease stress for the candidate and the employer as possible. Because believe it or not, employers are nervous, just like candidates are. So we've all been there. Moving forward. So the purpose, mass interviewing. That's all placement exchanges are for. You want to go to a place you have a lot of opportunity for interviews, okay? It's convenient, it really is. But here's what you don't want to do: overload yourself. We'll get to that. The setup, you do registration, you have to check in and go to scheduling. When you go to that placement exchange, what I want you to make sure you do is say, hey, I want to check my schedule. Can I get a copy of it? And you sit down and you match you with Western Kentucky, you with West Georgia, you with University of Memphis, you with UT Chat at the time you say you have them. And you know where you're supposed to be. The challenge with some of the placement exchange, for example, TPE, is you're sitting right here and they may be coming from way over there. So, oh, are they on their way? You're like, okay, I'm looking. Everybody do that. Hey, I'm looking for a thing like that. Just be patient and relax, and your person is coming for you. Now, for some reason, and this has happened on my end, when I took somebody with me, I said, you're going to go get Aretha Milligan. And they went to the wrong tent. And they said, the person's not there, the person's not there. I said, where did you go? Let me just see. Okay, they're in that one. They're in their last name. Oh, so it just threw the person off, because now they're like, now I only get 15 minutes to go, and I need to be going because I got another interview. That's another thing you have to be mindful of as a candidate setting up your interviews. Yes, they say you get 30 minutes. Most places allow you 30 minutes. Here's what you don't want to do. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, like every 30 minutes you're ripping and running. You need to be realistic, give yourself a break. Employers need to do the same thing, because otherwise I think I'm talking to Mel and I'm really talking to April, and I have the wrong information in front of me, and I know it has happened to me as a candidate going through that. I said, what happened? No, that's not me. And it's like, oh, we got the wrong folder. Yeah, you do. And so now I'm looking awkward, like they didn't know anything about me. Wasn't a good fit anyway, but that's okay. I am who I am, and we went on with the interview, and it was fine, but I wasn't going to stay there. They didn't have my information. So that's okay. So while you're there, you want to make sure, know what registration is, know that you have to go there and say, hey, I'm here. Because if you don't ever say you're here, I don't know as an employee that you ever checked in. I'm like, oh, she's here, she never picked up her package, she doesn't have her name tag. Most of everybody, you wear a name tag, you got something on to identify that you were supposed to be there, okay? Know where, go check the place out ahead of time. Know where you're supposed to sit. If it says, we're sitting you by your last name, and you say, okay, my last name is Milligan, I'm sitting in M's. This the M10, okay, I'm gonna sit right here. Go check it out and look, see where things are. Most places have things you may need, wet wipes, tape, staplers, whatever, those kind of quick things you may need, a Band-Aid. Who knows? Things happen when you're doing rushing, you slip, ruin your hose, or get a snag or something. They have safety pins, all kinds of things there in the little spots, but you need to know where those places are to help you as you move forward, okay? So you've checked in, you've gone to scheduling, you've made sure, hey, everything matches the interview room. Usually the room is just a big room with some tables. And sometimes they have petitions up, sometimes they don't. Usually there's some decorations either around or on the tables, and you just have to get a feel for what you're going to be embarking upon. As you can see, I am a talker and I'm pretty loud. So when I'm doing interviews, I kind of have to lean in and say, otherwise I'm talking like this and people are like, oh my gosh, she can't hear. So I have to be aware of that. And some people don't care, it doesn't bother them. I also wear hearing aids, so I'm leaning anyway, and I can hear everything behind me and around me. And the only person I need to be hearing is the person in front of me. So it's a challenge for me. And I know I'm not the only person in the world to wear hearing aids. So you have to make sure you are paying attention to what you're doing, because it can be distracting. It can be very distracting to hear them talking about Mr. John over here, and you can hear it and you can see it. But you need to make sure you're focused, you're leaning in, you're taking your notes, and you're talking, and you're articulating whatever it is you're talking about and responding to. Employers are having the same challenge, they need to be doing the same thing. And I'll be honest with you, because I attend and work with SPE so much, it is so common for people while I'm sitting in the interview, look, stop waving at me, you see I'm in the middle of the interview, but it happens. So we need to be mindful that as employers, we're there working. You need to be waving, shooting deuces, bucking your eyes at me, I'm in an interview, stop doing that. You know, I need to be focused on this person. By that same token, if you're the candidate, you don't need to be doing it either, because it doesn't look very professional on anybody's part to be distracting the person who you are interviewing and if you are the interviewer. Make sense? Any questions? I talk fast and I apologize, but it is what I do. Oh, go back. The Message Center and Resource Center. So here's what happens. Every placement exchange has a spot where you can go, where you have a box assigned to you. They'll say your box number is whatever. That's where employers, if you're a candidate, employers are coming, putting information in there. Hey, we saw your resume. We'd like to set up an interview with you. And at most places, there is a message sheet or a request for an interview sheet that you have to take to the scheduling table to schedule that interview. Because if you don't have that sheet from the University of Memphis or West Georgia, they're not gonna just put you on their schedule. They shouldn't be doing it. At least at my place, they didn't do that. And my experience with the Placement Exchange, they didn't do it. I imagine other places work out the same way. So planning ahead, you want to go through and read the job description so that the days you are there for the interview, you're not trying to catch up on reading how, okay, I like it, oh no. And then you never got a chance to Google school and any of that. Here's what I know. People come on site and register, candidates and employers the same. So if you have some downtime, say, oh, I'm done for the day. Let me see if there are any new ones on the site that may fit what I'm looking for. Take your time, do that, and request an interview just like you would. If they say, leave your resume and a little sticky note on top, put it in box number 88 for University of Memphis. That's what you need to do. You need to know how to request an interview with a school. And if you've never done a placement exchange, on the candidate side, you may not know how to do that. And if you've done it before as an employer, it may be different at other places. Like I said, the placement exchange is huge. OPE is large. SP is not as large. And the other places, like when I did ACPA, it was huge. So just making sure where you're positioned and posted, as in I'm sitting here as a candidate or I'm way back here as an employer. Ooh, when I go up there, I need to put my thank you cards in boxes so I'm not going back and forth, unless you're trying to just get your steps in for the day. The Message Center and Resource Center also has information, usually where you can, ooh, I didn't bring my, but I can look it up right here. Or, ooh, I don't know where that is in the state of whatever. Let me pull out a map. They usually have maps. Those type of things you can say, enough to Memphis for me, or that's too far away from where I want to be. At least if you have an idea on a map where you're going, you can say, I might be interested in interviewing with that. If proximity to home base or wherever is important to you. Does that make sense? Okay, move forward. So here's the thing. They say arrange funding. That is a true statement because some people don't take into consideration. I can tell you as a grad student, I was a non-traditional age grad student, and I said, it's only gonna be 2 of us in the room. Some of my classmates went, and it was 8 in a room. And it was really crazy because it was some competition going on that I guess I didn't really get. We're all interviewing for jobs. Some of them may be the same jobs. So one school may have given me a water bottle and t-shirt, and this person just got a keychain. Oh, they liked you more. What? I said, is that what's happening when it's 80 y'all in the room? Because, oh, I got all this. What did you get? I didn't get anything. Oh, so it became really awkward and weird. Have your funding prepared. If you want to get 4 of you guys in the room, get 4 of you guys in the room. If everybody's paying for whatever, have that lined out or ironed out or clear before you get there about who's paying for what, okay? The placement exchange may be a little pricey depending on where you live and where you're going. Sometimes, for example, with SPE, I graduated from UP, it's in Pennsylvania. I would email them up. I said, I have a 3-bedroom. I'm willing to house 3 people. If they come down here to the conference, they have a free place to stay. Nobody ever took me up on that offer. And when I finally met the class, they were like, were you really serious? Absolutely. I know what it's like to be a grad student. I'm willing to help anytime, all the time. Well, now I'm not willing to help as much, but I'd house 1 person. If a person needed a house, I would house them in my own personal house. Or I would make sure we can figure out a way to get them a discounted rate if they wanted to come and just didn't have the money to stay that many days. The conference itself for SPE is inexpensive. It's $50 maximum just to register. But if you were coming from far away and you said, I can get there, but I don't have a place to stay, I can work something out for you because we are trying to do anything we can to be a part of the village that helps the next set of professionals get connected to their resources, however we do that. So I'm willing to do that. Arrange funding, register online. Here's why I think registering online works. Because you can take the time, read and see and have an understanding of what the expectation is when you get there. Here's me. There's nothing worse than coming. We're going to be job interviewing people. Really? Yeah. So why do you have like your swimming trunks and flip-flops? We've had people show up, they said, we didn't really think people was gonna be interviewing. Can y'all take us to the store? We took them right out to the mall and let them get some, it was guys, got some shirts and some slacks and some shoes, and they were ready. The next day they were good to go. It was like, thank you, because I know 3 of them to this day are professionals. They work in the field. They are directors of blah, 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 and they doing their thing. And they say, I remember you from SPE. I said, I remember you. First year ever. Somebody called me from way in Neverland School and said, I got some kids coming. They don't know nothing about SPE. Y'all help us? We were like, sure. It's what we do. Come on in and let us help you. We do what we have to do to make sure you're prepared. So when you come in front of those employers, you are putting your best foot forward. Okay? And that's what we want. Book your hotel. If you're going to stay in a hotel, you need to book your hotel before you get there, because you will see places fill up really quickly when it comes to placement exchange. You just need to be ready. If you're going to stay with someone, make sure you know where they live in proximity to where you got to be, and you have transportation. If you have told someone you can come stay with me, you need to make sure the person you're staying with is okay with that, and things, it's not you're bringing some more people or another person. Make sure you guys are clear on that. Make sure you understand where you're staying and the living arrangements. If people are staying with you, how are they paying? Nobody wants to come to a conference and feel like I paid for everything, now I'm broke and I can't eat, because that's the other part of it. You still have to eat while you're there. While some conferences may offer you a lunch here, I don't think other conferences, TPE offers lunch TPE. SPE offers lunch for 2 days for the candidates. The Friday and Saturday, no dinner meals. We have a closing social, which people like to snack and they like to go out and eat. And I get it, it's Memphis, not a big deal. But other places, you are breakfast, lunch, and dinner all on your own. So we'll get to that piece and how you can help yourself on that one too. Update resumes, so important. So very important that the resume you're presenting is current. Okay, there's nothing worse than, oh, I got you the wrong one. Where'd you think you was coming to? It's just you would say, you were coming to the beach. No, you're coming for a job. Bring me your updated resume. Know that when you put that in my hand, because you update and say, hey, this is the most recent one. I'm okay if you give me a fresh copy if you didn't upload it, because things may have happened. Do what you need to do to make sure everything is current and updated, and that it is grammatically correct and words are spelled properly and things are aligned right, and it should not be a dissertation of 15 pages. I don't care if you've been in the field that long, then you already know how to take a resume and say, I did this, and everybody knows what that means, because you've been in the field a while. If you haven't been in, they don't need to know every little job you did when you were in undergrad, so you end up having 6 pages. The goal here is not to say, I've done all these jobs. The goal is to show that you have the skill set to do what they need for you to do. So what if you've done all these jobs and none of these relate to being an area coordinator? Which job relate to that position? And yes, you have to be careful and pay attention, because they will say to you, I need you to go 10 years back. So pay attention to that. Some people say that, just pay attention. Practice interviews, so important. So important that you are thinking about, and I don't call it rehearsing, just preparing yourself for what they're asking, and that you have thought through some of the answers to the questions. Just preparing yourself. Some people go, that's textbook. And you've been in interviews before, that's just textbook. Nobody's being creative. People are looking for creativity. There's a book, Knock 'em Dead Interviews and Knock 'em Dead Resumes. Those are 2 very good books. Knock 'em Dead Cover Letters. 3 good books. I think I have Interviews, Cover Letters. Anyway, very good books that tell you how to put your resume together, how to put your cover letter together, and how to prepare yourself for an interview. Because when they ask you, tell me something you liked about your last supervisor, you have to know what they're actually asking about you. Because remember, the person you're talking to could be your next supervisor. So be prepared, prepare yourself. It's not a trick question, but it is. Or tell me something you like least about your last supervisor. If it's something like, hey, they smoke and I don't, okay, that's fine. But if you start rattling off all these things about it and go, okay, maybe it's not a good fit. Or maybe they may challenge you and say, well, tell me more about that. So getting some resources that help prepare you for interviews and making sure your resume looks good. Again, your university, the Career Services Center, probably a great place to start, as well as the other professionals who are working around you, working in the field. Scheduling interviews online, if that's what you're supposed to do, go ahead and do that. read, and whatever you're confident, walk you through what you need to do. Just the best way to go. Research employers, so very important. Where is this place? What is in this area? Because if it is important to me to be in Memphis, Tennessee, I probably don't need to look in California. And I'm just being honest. I can tell you this, I don't like when people practice with me. That's a waste of my time. I could have had a candidate who really wanted to work for me. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want them practicing on you. We really want to go hire her. We just was practicing our skills. It's a waste of time. Don't do yourselves like that. It's not professional, okay? Interview etiquette, social media, networking, interview etiquette. So everybody knows the basic. Come there, prepared to talk, articulate, and tell what you got to tell. Be ready to answer some questions. Smile. Be friendly. Be approachable. Be prepared to ask questions. Because there's nothing worse. When I'm done with an interview, I usually do a lot of talking. And we just tell me about yourself. I'm usually just trying to talk, not necessarily write down a whole bunch of stuff. And then I said, do you have questions for me? Nope. So you know everything? Okay, then I'll go with that. And as soon as we walk out that door, I grab my next candidate. I'm just going to ask you. You had your time. I'll come back to you. I don't say that to say, I'll get with you in a minute. We'll talk later. She's on my staff. Go talk to her if you can't wait. Because usually if I'm doing something like interviewing candidates, I really don't have enough time to give you 15 more minutes because you just had your 30. Go prepare with your question. There are some questions that you want to know about. You want to know about the timeline. How long is it going to take? Because if you're in grad school, you know you don't graduate till May, whatever, and you're looking for me to start in June. Is that enough time? Does that give you a break? Is it flexible? Can I start in July 1? These are questions you want to ask about. Is there going to be what's the process? Is this part of it? Am I going to be invited on campus, or it's just a face-to-face this one time and then we come to campus? Or do I need to meet 2 other groups of people? Everybody's process varies. So it's important that you just ask about it. There's nothing wrong with that. On social media, that piece is in there for a variety of reasons. People are using social media to advertise jobs, so you can find a job there. They're also, if you don't think that people are checking up on the people who are applying for them, working at their universities or institutions of higher ed, they are, we are. And if you don't think they're not, you're fooling yourself. People are checking social media and looking to see what they can see and find. There's nothing worse than somebody I had just interviewed showing their butt. I was like, I don't think we want to see that. Why are y'all looking people up? I didn't know this was when it first started. I said, why are you looking people up? Just to see. Yeah, so somebody went and told the person, you might not want to have that on here while you're job searching. And they were like, oh, I know everybody can see it, everybody can. So just being mindful of those things, being mindful of some of the things you say. One of my former staff members was on social media talking really bad about his supervisor on his alleged day off while he was watching movies and drinking mimosas, and had a picture. And somebody snipped and sent to the supervisor. It happened to be me. And I said, yeah, I didn't come see you. Guess what? This doesn't say you were sick. And the stuff you're saying is just unprofessional. I get it. We don't have to be best friends, but this is unprofessional. That's all I said. So you'll be using that as annual leave. And they was like, ugh. And this happens again when we go to HR. Okay. Those are tough things you got to do. Social media, be careful what you're putting out there. Be careful when you are in, and I'm skipping this, not on here. One of the things that has happened, people go to the conferences, they get in the bathroom, start talking about the interview, start talking about the person they interviewed. They was this, they was that. True story, the lady said they were in there, they were saying some not so positive things about the person they had interviewed with, and one girl was saying this and how she was this and she was that, and she came out, she said, I need to tell y'all young lady something, that person you're talking about is a very dear friend of mine. I need you to be aware this is not the place to have this conversation, because you don't know who's in these bathrooms, and you may have just lost yourself a job, because what may happen, and I'm not going to do this, but it could happen. Somebody go up and say, you know, the girls that had on whatever happened, don't interview them. They were in the bathroom talking bad about these employers. That sounds very petty, but it's realistic. It happens. Sorry, you shouldn't do it. And here's me. I have at a conference said, employers, step over here with me. Y'all in the bathroom talking not so positive about some candidates. If there's a problem, they need to correct something. If it's their attire, I don't know what it is. Go and say something to them. Standing in this bathroom is unprofessional to do it in there. And if somebody hears you that knows this person, A, they're gonna think you're unprofessional, and the person may hear you, now you've hurt their feelings. We are professionals. You can't tap them on the shoulder and pull them to the side and say, come here. You know what? That may be really low dress if you're showing everything, or, ooh, that may be a little too tight if you're busting out every time you sit down. I'm just saying, if there are things you need to say to candidates, we as employers need to be the professional ones and say, hey, let's chat. If you don't want to say anything, then don't talk about it. Talking about it in any place is unprofessional and inappropriate. So we try to have everybody to keep that in mind when they are having conversations about interviews. And sometimes, oh, mine was great. It was whatever happened. Woo, that's a different story. But that's a positive thing you're hearing. But the not so positive things, we just need to be mindful of that. Networking. When I tell you networking happens at SPE, I can't tell you how I remember you from SPE. I remember you from SPE. Now I've been doing SPE since 2005. I don't remember everybody, but some people I really do remember. And my thing is, it's an opportunity to network because those people who start out as candidates and grad students, they become directors and they become assistant directors and associate directors. And while I may still be doing what I'm doing, they remember this. And do you know somebody who, well, Ms. Reed, if you know somebody who's looking for or you're looking for somebody who, and they may be trying to recruit me, and I'm not ready to go yet, but when I am, I'll call you. Okay, so here's me networking. Very important, putting your best foot forward, being willing to reach out to people even after the conference, be it CHO or at Placement Exchange. That's what networking is about. You may know somebody who lives down there, works with this person, who may connect you to that person. That's all it's about. And the more positive that connection is, the more likely you are to have somebody to reach out to you and say, hey, I may have an opportunity. Make sense? Moving on, what to bring. They always tell you what to bring, extra, this, resumes, anything. They always tell you mints, these type of things. Just read that. Make sure you pay attention to dress clothing. If you are wearing hosens or stockings or anything, have an extra pair. Your resumes, your business card, professional looking, taking notes. That's kind of going back and forth. Some people say, we're going green, just email it out. And if they say that, that's fine. There are some people who print their own thank you notes and they want to show you how to create it out. Those are fine too. But if they say they're going green and they want you to email, just respond that way. A thank you note is a thank you note. If it saves us a lot on paper, then that's a great thing to do. Various office supplies, paper clips, staplers, tape, scissors, all those kinds of things that you don't think you need, white out. I wouldn't bring it, but sometimes you might need it. Just saying. Personal care supplies. That is from makeup things, hair brushes, oil sheen, whatever you think you need, extra deodorant because you sweat a lot. If you're a person, and I know several people, male and female, who sweat a lot, so they bring an extra shirt to change into. Nothing wrong with that. If you got a place to hang it up so that after lunch you're a little bit fresher and not sweat stained all on you, that's not a problem. Do that if that's what you need to do. You just need to make sure you're putting your best foot forward, and when people see you, they see a fresh you, not a they just woke up looking like this. You want to be looking good, as you want them to look good too, on both sides of the table. Portfolio of work. Sometimes they ask for this in advance, sometimes they don't. It just depends on what kind of job you're applying for. Sometimes some programming type positions want to see, oh, what have you done in the world of programming? If it involves programming and marketing or Greek and marketing or something in marketing, they might want to see your skills in marketing. What have you put together? I put together flyers for RA recruitment or this and that and the other. You want to bring that. You want it professionally done. You want to be able to share it. If you want to say, oh, electronically, it's on my card, you just click there, you can go right to it. Or the Q code thingy, you guys are very creative. Y'all know how to do all that. Whatever works for you, but you want to make sure they can get your information. I want everybody to go to SPE, but here's why, and here's why. 98% of our candidate surveys, they rate it as good or excellent and overall experience. They have a great time at SPE. It's small, and some people are like, oh, I know him, her, and her. Yeah, because they came, they got jobs, and they're sending people back. Because what we want you to do is get your job, tell somebody else, let them send some more people, and so on and so forth. And so far, it's been okay. It's just that so many things have changed to decrease our numbers. We don't worry about that. We just try to move forward. So last in February, our stats were small, 19 employers, 26 positions, and 40 candidates. Registration costs, the maximum is $50. The numbers are really low, but it was a very good experience for those who came, and we just move forward with what we have. So this is our website to go to the placement exchange. Any questions? This is for Southern Placement Exchange, I'm sorry. So one thing I also have to hand out, in addition to, did we give out my cards?
Oh, that's your card.
No, you haven't given out those, yeah, okay. These are, take one and pass it down. I think I have one. These are some, just remember SPE and Sweet Tea. This we call our Southern style. Here you go. I'm getting in trouble because I'm not in front of the camera. No questions? I guess he's still recording. Yes.
I have a question that might benefit from some folks. You talk about cover letters.
Hold on one second. My hearing aid just, I think the battery just went out on me. See if I can get it back working. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when you talk about cover letters, how should people write cover letters to maximize their resume if the university asks for them?
How should you, what, say that one more
How
time?
should you write a cover letter to maximize your resume if the university asks for one at TP or SP?
So when you're putting together your cover letter, you want your cover letter to make me want to go to your resume. Because if everything is in the cover letter, what do you need to get your resume for? So your cover letter should tell me who you are. How did you find this position? Did somebody refer? Did you go on the website? And why is this attractive to you? What are some of the skill sets you have? In small, your cover letter shouldn't be 2 pages. So tell me what few skill sets you have that would make me want to go, ooh, I want to read a little bit more about this person because they got me interested, got my eyes going, who? They can do this? Let me go to their resume. Everything that's in your resume should not be in your cover letter. So, but the basic, somebody with a master's degree, with a certain number of experience, post-master's degree, and these set of skills in living, learning communities, if you're hitting that, if you're highlighting that in your cover letter, then that makes me go, okay, they starting out. Once I read this piece, you can tell me, attach to your file my resume that has ABC, the rest of my information in there. I look forward to talking to you. You don't want it too long because they go, this is too long, put in faculty. So you want to, where, hi, this is who I am, this is where I found you, and then a little bit about what they said they're looking for in terms of what the job description of that they are offering, how your skills already match that. A little bit, no more than a paragraph, I would say. But your cover letter should not be 2 pages long. If it is, that's a lot of information. Did that help? Okay. Yes.
So the 26 positions that were there, were they all filled at SDE?
I don't know. Here's what we have at SPE. Some people come, that's an excellent question. Some people come and they're interviewing for graduate positions as well as entry levels. We do the same. What I'm learning is, and I had to remember this, when you're doing graduate programs and working with graduate students, and we can probably find out later on this summer, because we can't force them to take an offer over graduate assistantship until after a certain day in April. I want to say it's April 1st or the 5th or something like that. So there may or may not be filled. I don't know, but we'll find out because we always follow up with our employers later and our candidates to see, did you get that job or did you get a job from SPE? Some employers left and said, hey, we have to leave. Tomorrow's our campus day for our graduates, but we've already set up 5 and 6 interviews for campus just coming that one day they came. Because what they did was they had 2 tables. We would start at 8 o'clock, they interviewed everybody. If they wanted you to go to table 2, they sent you to table 2 for your second interview. If they liked you, they said, I want you to come to campus. Here's how you reach us when you're ready to come to campus, and they were out. And some people have come to SPE so often that they already have their system set up. You're gonna do the first set of interviews, you're gonna do the second set of interviews, and the next one is gonna be on campus. And they set it up just like that. So it's just a matter of And probably at the placement exchange, different people have tables set up for that same purpose. Oh, do you like them? You'll sit to a second interview. Okay, this is a second interview. And you go to the table with Western Kentucky or University of Memphis for the second group of people. And then some people say, okay, this was good. We want to invite you to campus after TPE or SPE or whatever. So they may have filled from SPE or may not, but we won't know that probably until about August, once we are still trying to get all the information. Challenge is that some people move. You know, I may be at U of M now, but what if I leave and go to Maryland or something? So now they're trying to reach somebody who's just new to the position to ask them something about SPE, and they're going, oh, I don't know. What, I don't know. So we try to do things to try to keep in touch with the person in the position who's there. So we always say, don't forget to share, post us, and share with your next group of people, because some people know they're leaving. Like one lady who used to register, she said, I'm not coming back. We were like, oh no, who are you going to send? And we reached out to the school, send us somebody. We reached out to the organization, send us somebody. They never sent us anybody. We end up doing it ourselves. Then the people came to SP, we want to do it. We were like, okay. Welcome aboard. So there we started new family members. So. Okay, good question. Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know how SPE works. Can you see the jobs that are being posted before registering?
That's an excellent question. No, you cannot.
Okay.
Our position, and here's what we know people do. Let's say you guys are from the same school. He'll register and you'll be looking. So that's fine with us. If y'all do that, we don't know. But we don't post positions. You can't see them unless you register. Because it's $40 or $50, we figure you can either pay it or not. That's what happens. That's just honest. But what we will do is you'll say, who was there last year? We can show you that list. Has so-and-so, has certain school ever been there? I'll look them up. Yes, they came in these years. Okay. So if you're looking for a certain school, go to that school's website. Okay. When you're job searching, you can't be the shy person. You have to go and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so or Ms. So-and-so. My name is so-and-so. I'm looking for a position at your school in this area. Can I go to your website? Because sometimes people haven't posted. For example, when we went through Southern Placement Exchange this year, we made sure that every candidate that was interested in our AAC position, they knew it was already posted on our website. So if you're really interested in the job, this is just an interview telling you, here's what we're doing, you're on our campus, but you have to apply on the HR website. And about 4 people did. And they were the 4 people she thought were very good and were inviting for an interview, so that worked out for us. But sometimes people talk with you and they don't necessarily do that. If you say you're looking for a certain job at UT Chad or Western Kentucky, go to that school, see what they have, go meet people there, talk to people there, and see what they have available for you. Excellent question. Any others? So here's me. Whether you come to SPE, go to TPE or OPE or ACPA, it doesn't matter. When you're ready to job search, that you are prepared. You're prepared by making sure your resume is together, by making sure you go to that. People don't like this, that frequently asked question page. They're there for a reason, and they can give you more information than you really are aware about. Sometimes, I know when I go to TPE, I usually rent a car, but I don't need it because they're usually shuttling people back and forth. Knowing that you have transportation to and from where you're staying, if you're not staying at the host hotel or convention, is very important. It can save you money, it can save you time. What I also learned when I went to, whenever I go to TPE, the time is it seems like it's so rushed that I always take my lunch with me so I don't have to move again. When I go in that little room, I have my little lunch. I didn't have to leave and go get it. Have my little lunch, got my mail, responded to my thing, went back to my table. Because you are like getting it this way. Even if you have people with you, y'all are all rushing and running and doing stuff. So you want to know that you're going prepared. When you sit in front of an employer or when you sit in front of a candidate as an employer, that you're fresh. There's nothing worse than they come and see me like this. I'm so tired. And they're like, okay, they're not that into me. And that may not be the case at all. You as an employee need to be looking fresh. You need to look rejuvenated so people want to talk to you. You need to engage them positively, not negatively. And as a candidate, you need to make sure that you are putting off those same kinds of positive, energetic vibes. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a question more so about campuses, if you don't mind.
On campus what?
On-campus interviews.
Okay.
if you don't mind. I was wondering what some employers are looking for as far as campus presentations.
You mean when they say, hey, we need you to do a presentation?
Right.
Oh, she has a response back there.
No, I just had time.
Oh, that's, okay, thank you. See, you did do me like that, didn't you? Got me. Okay, so, I thought you had a response thing. It depends, you have to be very clear and ask them specifically what they're looking for. Here's my example. We have a marketing position available at the University of Memphis, and for the candidates who are coming on campus, we're asking them to present to us a presentation on social media, what they know about it, what their connection is. Because if social media is the way to reach the young people, and we're not connected, then we better not be hiring somebody who doesn't have a clue. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you have to be very clear on what do you want in my presentation, how long, what do you want it to include, and how long you want it to be, that kind of stuff. And they usually share that with you.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my sheets that are tracking and my cheat sheet of questions, because there are several questions employees can ask you and you can ask employers. I didn't bring that with me, but if you leave me your information up here, I will forward you those sheets. They're just sheets and forms that we've collected in the past that they're not obsolete, that's for sure, because they're asking all kinds of questions. I always think it's interesting when you go to an interview and they ask you, if you had to be an animal, what kind of animal would you be? People, what kind of animal would I be? And people are just breaking the ice. But people freak out on that. An animal, I wouldn't be an animal. Okay, this is just breaking the ice. Just relax. Lisa in the back said it earlier, be your authentic you. That she said, don't be a jerk about anything, but if what you want is this and this is what you're looking for and they don't have it, don't kid yourself and thinking, oh, I'm willing to accept this, okay? Ask good questions. Ask fair questions. If it's important that you have professional development, monies, or opportunities, you need to ask about that. But you need to be clear about what you're asking when it says professional development. What does that look like? Because does that translate, oh, I get to go to conferences? At some schools it may. At some schools that don't have a whole lot of money, it may not. So you definitely need to be specific when you're asking those questions, if that's important for you. Is there an opportunity for growth for me here? That's a fair question, because some people aren't leaving. I remember, and I know, and she wouldn't mind me sharing the story, Alicia Golson, she's now at Rhodes. Dr. Golson is now at Rhodes, but she started out as our grad assistant. She became an assistant area coordinator. She said, Ms. Rita, I want to go in the field. I said, okay, let me be honest with you. Right now, I'm not looking to leave. And I don't think they are either. She said, okay. I said, so what I'm telling you is let me help prepare you for your next position. If you're going to be a grad student someplace, or you're going to be an entry-level professional at another institution, which one you want to be? She said, I'm ready. She went through SP Western Kentucky and said, we want her. And from there, she became Dr. G. And I said, I'm so proud of you. But here's my goal always. I'm never threatened by trying to teach the people I supervise my job so that if I leave, they can have it. They should be able to do it. If I'm not helping prepare them for their next level, be it in my position or above me, which I can't prepare you for above me, but I can show you what I do, then what am I helping them do? How am I helping them professionally? That's how I see it. And sometimes you have to present that differently because some people are threatened by somebody trying to take their job. Here's me. If you can show me how to do what I do better, by all means, show me. Otherwise, if I need to step out the way, I'm gonna get out the way because I'm not doing the best for the team. If this person is stepping their game up and I'm still, I need to step my game up and I don't need to get so comfortable in what I am so that I'm in the way of those that I supervise. So if I need to leave, I need to leave. I need to own that. So we need to be on our game too as the employers. So, any other questions? Thank you so much for your time. I realize the group is small, but you got some good information today. And I'm reachable at the University of Memphis. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
If you all please